Super excited to be in a regional again. It's, for some, it seems like, it's just what we do, but it's really hard to get here. And I made sure the players heard that from my mouth. And I think the other coaches chimed in a little bit as well. It's an honor to be obviously a top 8. And we've had a lot of things happen to us this season as far as injuries and sickness. And, other teams have as well. It just seems like ours hit all kind of at the same time, and our players found a way to get through it, and extremely proud of them. And it's a new season. It's all about what we do from here on out. It's, the previous games obviously got us where we are, but it doesn't matter anymore. And that's what I told them. It's all about now. It's about the future, and I think they're excited to be here and be playing.
All right, Bob, want to kick us off?
Yeah, Dave, I'm sure you've got a detailed scouting report on Santa Clara. Seriously, what do you know about those guys?
Nothing. That's about it. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
But we will here in a little while. I don't know. I just found out who we were playing. No, they won. And they're from more of the northern part of California. I know that they're a champion. They won something. They're a championship team. So all as I know is probably just a little bit more than what most people know about them, what popped up on the board. So we'll look into them right now.
I think that's where Steve Nash went to school. The great NBA player. Or maybe I'm wrong about that. I see Andrew shaking his head. Hey, and you guys knew you're going to be at home, and you've proven you can get to Omaha on the road. But how good is it to be at home with as well as you guys have played at home?
It's always good to be at home, really. I mean, especially we've been on the road for 11 days straight, and just driving back in once we got in our cars at the airport the other day, it was nice to be here and regroup a little bit and let these guys have some freedom yesterday, today, and then have team practice the next couple of days, and then obviously a Thursday workout that's structured time-wise. But it's really good to be able to play at Baum Walker in front of our fans who, are extremely loyal, and they show up, and it's it ought to be an exciting weekend.
Okay, I might have a couple more if time allows, but I'll turn it back over to Oliver. Thanks.
Ellis.
Yeah, Coach, obviously you guys played TCU earlier in the year, and when you played them, you probably thought you might see them down the road. Just, what do you make of seeing them pop up and the opportunity to kind of get that one back?
Yeah, what a really talented team, older team, veteran team, good mix of speed and defense, power. Just following scores, and I follow most of the teams in our region. We felt like we'd get somebody from the area. We weren't sure it would be TCU, but they've had a great year. I did watch them win the Big 12 championship game yesterday. I watched most of it. And, we all had a thought that they would be heading this way. And, they've had a super year.
And then, you mentioned you guys haven't done a ton since that game Saturday, but just mentally when you're around the guys today, just where do you think your team is at with their mindset? And do you feel like they're ready to play their best ball down the stretch here?
Well, I've only been around them for 45 minutes, hour so far. And, I think that, I think mentally we're in a good place. We went 3-3 against some really, really good teams on the road. And, we did what we needed to do to get where we are today. I hope they take a little time to maybe sit back and realize what a good season that we've had, and that we put ourselves into position to play here as long as we win. And, but I think the mood's good. Some of our goals at the beginning of the year are obviously to get to this point and have an opportunity to continue to play in a regional. And here we are.
Coach.
Yeah, Dave, we've asked you about Santa Clara and TCU. I'm just curious what you think about Arizona also popping up in your regional. Do you know anything about them?
I've watched them, I'd say parts of their games 2 or 3 times throughout the season, just because they were on late game. I'm at home, and I'm looking through scores and I see that they're still playing. They look very physical to me, a little older team. I know Tennessee played them, I think, to open the season, and I think Arizona beat them, and that was out there in Arizona somewhere at a tournament. So I don't know a whole lot about them. I know that league out there is awfully good, and they were a team that had to wait to see if they got in, and they got in. So I'm sure they're extremely excited to be playing.
I think after your game on Saturday, you said something about you need to get the top part of your lineup going, some of the older guys. Just how do you do that? What does the next couple of days look like in that regard?
Well, really, it's more individual. They need to mentally clear their head. Try not to do too much, because I think that's what's going on a little bit with some of those guys. Are, they're swinging a little too hard, a little too aggressively, or swinging to pitches that they normally don't swing at, and got themselves behind in the count. Sometimes just a day or two off can help that a lot. And then, some instruction, but really more just going back to what they normally do. And that's staying within, kind of the pass the baton mentality. Just do what you can do and let the next guy do what he does. And it's called a team, and it's team offense. And if we do that, we'll have a good weekend. If we don't, it's going to be a fight.
Tom.
Hey, Dave. So I guess you go into the looking at the opposing lineups and maybe determining whether you want to go Holland Smith or Smith Holland. What are your thoughts on that front?
Yeah, I mean, we'll go look at all that, and then just attack it with whoever. I mean, they're both outstanding pitchers. Again, it's not like a righty or lefty situation. They're both left. I mean, we could go Tigert if we felt like it. So we'll figure that out here in the next day or two. And I don't know if we'll announce that till Thursday. So we'll figure it out.
I got you. And just what you've gone through, the ups and downs, and yet maintain consistency with some guys who've had to come in off the bench. Different guys have been hot through the year. I don't know, maybe what does that say for where your team is that you've done that,
Yeah, I just think it really speaks to the team, the players in that locker room, and the importance of being good and representing and not letting their teammates down. And even if we won games, if we'd have lost some games in there with all the injuries, maybe it was expected a little bit, but I think some guys proved that they're really good players, and they deserve to be on the field more than they were in some situations. And I don't know. I just feel like it's just a really good team setting, next man up mentality, and they've made us all proud by the way they played this year.
Okay, thanks.
Bob.
Dave, what did you think about the SEC getting 8 regional host sites and 10 in? And, you play in that gauntlet week after week. How do you think that prepares you for a regional?
Well, it definitely prepares you for a regional. We always talk about that. You hope you play your best ball, but you think down the stretch who we played and where we played them. It's hard to play a tougher schedule. That's why our strength of schedule ended up in the top 5 in the country and RPI, because we won enough of those. I think we're prepared. We're not going to be shocked by the talent level of anybody that's coming into the regional. I mean, we know Arizona's going to be good. Just from them playing in the league, we've seen TCU. I mean, our opponent is going to be the one we probably know the least about, and that's why we have to dig in. So, Santa Clara, they score runs. We've watched that. We're prepared for what we're getting into. It's just a matter of how we handle it.
And then the SEC getting 8 seeds, some top 16. Some people said, "Oh, they don't deserve it," but the committee said, "Well, we don't need to send teams to Boston or even it out. We're going to give the most deserving teams." What'd you think about 10 teams in and 8 host sites?
Well, I think it speaks volumes to the talent that's in our league. A lot of future big leaguers playing the SEC. Just week in and week out, you're always playing a good team, whether they're winning or not. They have ability, obviously, and you have to play well. Our league did great against all outside opponents. If you look at the winning percentage there, it's probably 800, something like that. I don't know. It's what I thought I saw earlier, but it's well deserved, I think. Now it might not happen, or people might think differently after the regionals are over, but I do believe what they've done throughout the season warrants them receiving a regional here in their own ballpark.
I got one other thought. I think the host team, unless it's changed, gets to pick when y'all play Friday for game 1 or game 2. I know I think you've done both, but the benefits to game 1, you get to play earlier, get a little more rest. Just how if you decide if you want to play in the day or the night?
Yeah, I think we got something a few weeks ago. I'm sure they sent that out to 60 schools that if you had that opportunity to host and you want to play the first or second game, doesn't mean you're going to get it. I don't think 100%, but we put in for the first game.
And I think I know why. Besides, of course, I know you want to help us with our deadlines. What are your other thoughts on that?
Yeah, just kind of, you mentioned some of them. One for me, you don't have to sit around all day. And then obviously if you play a little bit earlier, you do win or lose, you get a little more rest before the next day. And then probably the third thing is at this time of year, a lot of the thunderstorms that pop up are in later afternoon. So you might stay away from a delay. So, those are some of the things that we talk about.
Okay, thanks.
Ellis.
Yeah, Coach, it seems like RPI has become, more and more prevalent in the last few years, and it's kind of the main driving force in determining this. From an RPI standpoint, your regional doesn't seem too hard, but you've got 2 programs that have won a lot. I was just wondering what you make of the process and just how dependent the committee has become on RPI and just determining everything.
I think they use the RPI first, just about. And, I don't think the RPI, if you're in certain regions of the country, it's as easy to finish with a higher RPI just because the schools around you aren't winning enough. They don't play enough schools that have RPI. I mean, everything connects, but I think the teams out West are really talented, and I don't know how you fix it. I haven't looked into it that far, but I do believe the committee is all over the RPI. And I think next they're really into strength of schedule, who you tried to play. I think it really helped, say, Oklahoma. They had their strength of schedule was really good. And I think that helped them get into the tournament.
All right, Hutch, I'm gonna close this out.
Yeah, I just got a quick one, Dave. With Wagner returning to the lineup, that moved McLaughlin back to the bench, but I think he used him a pinch hitter at Vandy. He drew a walk, and he also had the RBI single in Hoover. Just how do you like him in that role? Do you feel like he's pretty comfortable coming off the bench as a pinch hitter like that?
Yeah, I think that he's real good at it. Obviously, he's calm and under control. He looks the same in the box, as a pinch hitter in the 8th or 9th as he does when he's starting. It's not like he's sped up, and there's always that opportunity in the game for him to come in and a tough situation and get us a big hit or drive in a run. And obviously, he's the guy that if we had another position, he'd be playing it, or we'd put our DH in. And you never know when someone's going to get hurt or the matchup isn't good or they're not having a good day, and he can jump in there. And really appreciated his attitude. And but if you look at his numbers, I mean, he deserves to be playing.
All right, Coach, appreciate the time.
Okay.